So it is your right under the law. It's the Fair Labor Standards Act. Your employer is required to give you a safe space to go pump that has access to a sink, and that is a private location.
So today's interview has been a long time coming and is a topic so important and want to get questions about all the time. If you're a new mom that's recently gone back to work or heading back soon, you're going to want to stick around for this entire episode as we're going to share some super helpful tips for pumping at work and keeping your milk flowing. Now, you've seen today's guest before, and it certainly will not be the last, as she's one of my favorite guests to have on this show. She's a registered nurse, certified breastfeeding counselor, certified childbirth educator, and mama of 2 babies herself. She started her company, Mountain Mama Lactation, to help mothers in their lactation journey after seeing their lack of breastfeeding support in her area of West Virginia. I cannot wait to share this helpful information with you, as I truly hope it helps in your journey. So here it is, my interview with Brenna Lansden on her best tips for pumping at work. Enjoy.
So what are some ways when they are pumping at work that can help make sure their, milk production is staying up, that they are able to produce while at work?
The first is you need to pump just as if you were nursing your baby. So you need to make sure that you're pumping every 3 to 4 hours, just as if you were nursing a baby. Second, we want to release the hormone oxytocin, which is the happy hormone. And a couple ways you can do that is to actually have a picture of your baby. That's going to trick your brain into thinking that baby is close by, and it's going to make you think, oh, happy thoughts, my baby's right here, which is going to help relax you. That's the main thing that we want to do whenever moms go back to work, is just relax. So you can look at photos of your baby and then also eat your favorite piece of chocolate or candy. That also is going to release that oxytocin, which is going to make you happy and relax. And that's going to be key when it comes to breast pumping at work. One way that you can actually yield more milk is to massage your breasts while you're pumping. There's been studies done that when moms massage their breasts while they're breast pumping, that they're actually able to yield up to 41% more milk per pump session. So if you can massage, look at your baby, eat your piece of chocolate while you're breast pumping, that can help you to get more milk.
Wow, that's really cool that all those tips together can do 41% more milk. I know that's something a lot of the moms in my Facebook group would be thrilled to hear. So
yeah, my candy of choice is hot tamales.
Hot tamales, really?
So this is really weird. So when I eat hot tamales, I can feel like my milk come in.
Really? So is it more of what your preference for candy is, or is there certain candies?
Yeah, it's just whatever. So, they say dark chocolate or chocolate helps release that oxytocin in your brain. So each person is individual with what they like. So if you like taffy, try taffy. If you like chocolate, try chocolate. I like hot tamales. I have an obsession with them. So I eat hot tamales and I notice a difference. And my husband laughs at me all the time.
That's so interesting, but it doesn't make sense though, too, because how you're talking about oxytocin and you have to be relaxed and have those good feelings. So, what better to give you a good feeling than a piece of candy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And photos of your baby. So both of those release oxytocin, which is going to make you happy and relaxed and, have a better pumping experience too. And I think that is one thing with pumping is it's instinctual to just look down and see how much milk you're getting out of the bottle. Do not do that. Do not compare yourselves to other moms or what you see other moms pumping. Just focus on your candy and your baby and relaxing. So don't focus on the bottle and how much you're actually getting in it. Just try to relax, listen to music, eat a piece of candy, and then look at the pictures of your baby, and that's going to help you to relax whenever you're pumping. So I know a common concern of new moms is how can I start to build up my supply when I go back to work? So one thing that I really recommend is the silicone breast pump. This is awesome. So what you're going to do with this guy is nurse your baby. And then once you switch to the other breast, you're going to put this on that first breast that you nursed your baby from. And it's going to be able to collect the milk that you didn't even know that was in there. So you may at the beginning only get 1 to 2 ounces, which is perfectly fine. But over time, you're going to be able to build that up into a stash that you can use for whenever you head back to work. Also, another way to build up your supply is to pump after that first morning feed. Usually we recommend waiting about 4 to 6 weeks, but that also depends on when moms head back to work too. So if you pump after that first feed, that's when moms say that they notice the most amount of milk that they're able to get. Also, prolactin is the milk-making hormone, is actually the highest at nighttime. So between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. So if you're able to skip, if your baby sleeps through the night or if they're sleeping longer stretches, then you can always incorporate an extra pumping session at nighttime like that. And that's going to help you to be able to build up your supply as well.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. I did not know about to be more active at night. That's, wow, really interesting. We have a lot of working moms that follow us. And another thing on top of that is just the anxiety of going back to work in general. So what are some tips you have for moms to help ease that anxiety when going back to work?
So I think one thing to do is to definitely get comfortable with your pump. Know your pump before you go back to work. Having a game plan before you go back to work is going to be helpful. So what I mean is make sure that you have all of your pump supplies. One way to relax when you go back to work is to make sure that you have an extra set of pump supplies at work that you just keep there, because that is going to cause you, if you forget your breast pumping supplies at home, to have unnecessary stress. So I recommend moms to just have an extra set of 2 bottles, an extra set of phalanges, connectors, just your pump parts that you can keep at work. And that way you do not have to worry about what if I leave something, you'll have it there. Another way to ease the transition back to work is to get a few different supplies. So a hands-free breast pumping bra is going to be your best friend. You're going to be able to use your hands to type or to do other things. Also, getting a nursing cover is going to be helpful, because sometimes you have those unnecessary surprise visitors that pop in whenever you are pumping, and that way you're covered so nobody can see you.
Another thing with going back to work and pumping at work that I see a lot of concerns with is being uncomfortable with the thought of, asking their boss for the space or for taking the time away from their desk. So what are your best tips for a mom that's feeling a little anxious about asking for that time to breast pump?
I think that the best thing to do is to have a game plan and have open communication with your coworkers and also with your boss. So before you head back to work, just make sure you guys are all on the same page. It's actually required by law that your employer lets you have adequate breaks to pump. And they also have to provide you with a room that has access to a sink that is not a bathroom. So it is your right under the law. It's the Fair Labor Standards Act. Your employer is required to give you a safe space to go pump that has access to a sink, and that is a private location. And it's been my experience that as long as you're open and you have a game plan with your employer and coworkers, that's when you usually have the most success. If you can, try to go back to work on either a Thursday or a Friday. That way you're not as stressed on a Monday, because Mondays are stressful just in general. And the first couple days back at work are going to be the most stressful for mom and baby, since they're both getting used to their new routines. That way also you're going to have the weekend to look back and reflect on ways that you can make the transition back to work better. And that's going to help you be less stressed when you go back to work, is to have a better game plan.
Awesome. I love that tip, because I'm sure most moms go back to work on Monday because it's a new week, but it's so true. It's Monday's the most stressful day. So why not go back on a Friday and just,
Definitely.
Well, very cool. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us today. I know I learned a lot, and I think this is one of the top things that I see posted in our Facebook group, just the anxieties of going back to work, making sure they're pumping enough, and then dealing too with coworkers or bosses that might not be used to that. So I think you've really helped us understand a lot here. So thank you so much for
having me.
Yeah.
Hey there, thanks for tuning into this episode of Mom Talks with Krista. If you try out these tips from Brenna, be sure to comment below and let us know what worked for you. And if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and click right here and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every Wednesday. And finally, if you're not following us yet on our social channels, follow us at Mommy Knows Best. I'll see you next week.